Hello, welcome, Cabbage here. So here I'll give some quick thoughts about the conclusion of Nier Reincarnation's story. Maybe later this month I'll do something more in-depth or for like the game's story overall. But it is staggering how much heart the writers and designers and all the staff put into this game. It's more than a game. I've always felt that, but never so much as now. Everyone who treats Reincarnation as simply a game, or who looks down on it for being a mobile game, are missing something really special and unique. I was lucky to just stumble onto it and the Nier universe, and I hope through my videos I've gotten across how much of a gem this game is, and I hope now I'm getting my gratitude across. Thank you to the folks that worked on this. But to sum up the conclusion in a word, inconclusive. More questions were raised than answers were given, it feels like, but that is not entirely a bad thing. On the one hand, it leaves a lot open for the future. First, let's talk about what we didn't get, things that I was anticipating or hoping for. No new information about Noel's dragons or F66X's flowers, no Accord or Human Cancel or Emil or 2B or 9S, no trailer for the next Nier game, no Gestalt project, no physical bodies for the Reincarnation characters. They return to their existence as weapon stories, so no furthering of their story, no life after a life. For the girl monster characters then, their Recollections of Dusk stories are now their true and final conclusions, and their short adventure walking through the cage amounts to a dream. A dream where they save the cage and the Earth, but still a dream. Their ultimate fate is unchanged. Most of their fates are tragic, but I feel like one of the main messages of Reincarnation is our memories are our own, even if they are painful, and they are proof that we have lived. A more typical, friendlier narrative would have happy resolutions to paint over the past, but here the sad fates are left intact, and the characters and us the players must confront them. So, although there was a lot not in the conclusion, that doesn't mean that there was no connection to previous Nier works. On the contrary, Reincarnation tied the Nier series together in ways beyond anything before. In the trailer, we got a surprise appearance of the girl in red from Automata, but who do we see first in the story but the administrators from Replicant, the E ending? I saw them and I was like, yes, and I punched the air. I was so grateful to have played Replicant in that moment. But think about it, they first appeared in a novel that came with an earlier version of the game. Then they were added to the version 1.22 upgrade, and even then, we were all wondering what was the significance or true nature of these characters. It was only years later here in Reincarnation that we got the payoff to the setup. That is kind of insane to think about. That's years, like over a decade, to get to this point. And I said it with 10H, but they took characters where there frankly was not a lot on the surface and gave them backgrounds, gave them a conflict to resolve, made them really compelling and sympathetic. Furthermore, they addressed the idea of different timelines and repeating history, and they rolled in Kaine and the girl in red, and the machine lifeforms, and Yorha and the aliens, and I was like, dang. Unfortunately, they ended up with a villain which we often see in Japanese pop culture. Pain and sadness are bad, so I'll just end the universe, that kind of a thing. But I felt the setup was good enough to earn it here, and it reinforces the overall message of the game, which it has been on since the beginning. A long time ago, I wondered whether Nier Reincarnation would work without the Sun-Moon arc and its characters, and now finally I think we can say yes. This is not to downplay how great those characters and their stories are. In some ways they are my favorite. But you could go straight from the conclusion of Girl Monster to Pod Mama bursting out on Earth, and it would still pretty much work. You'd have to explain some things like Mama carrying all of the data and all that. But yeah, it begins and ends with Fio and Levenia. I speculated that that very successful first 6 months of the game extended the life of the game and gave us Sun Moon, and possibly even the first chapters of People World. But if the game had flopped at release, it's easy to imagine a shorter story and shorter lifespan of maybe a year and a half. Instead, we got a 3-year plus experience out of this, with lots of what could be called bonus characters and stories, and it's just a miracle and a blessing. But yeah, in the end, Fio and Levenia really stepped up. It was honestly kind of funny to have Fio be the moral beacon and main source of exposition, and she's lecturing everyone on life lessons, and I was like, how old are you, 10? But I can suspend my disbelief. She's the main character, she's the hero, it's her game, so that's cool. Levenia was also cool. His arc resolves once, with him renouncing his initial wish and vowing to be Fio's friend, but here he goes a step further and acknowledges Fio's choice and agency and will, and in doing so he regains his own humanity by letting go of the most important person to him. And the reveal, I guess you could call it, of Levenia's unaltered voice mirrors that, and that was so great to hear after originally hearing that unaltered voice at the first anniversary dramatic recital. I'll link to that below. He kind of acts in the kaine position here, where his stubborn will upsets what otherwise might be an inevitable outcome, and we get a hint of his impact with this line here. One thing that disappointed me with this ending was it didn't address what I consider a bombshell in Fio's secret story, the fact that she and Levenia are reincarnated over and over again, and that they find each other in every incarnation. I have a wild theory that Yona from Replicant is one incarnation of Fio, that Sleeping Beauty from See No Alice is another, but we didn't get anything here. Something for the future, maybe. And who or what is Fio anyway? Is she the last human? Is she someone special with special powers or a special role? Someone that knows the lore better than I do, please chime in. I have a vague memory of someone saying that Zero and Kaine were some special beings and that Fio might be another. And I don't know if folks who played Nier Automata in English made the connection, but the PA who made the announcements from the tower at the end of that game is the same voice actress as the PA making the announcements here in Reincarnation, and she is just as delightfully psychopathic. I don't think there's any deeper meaning to that, I just thought it was a nice homage. Just like this ending pose with Fio and the administrator, and then at the end of Automata. So, where do things stand at the end of Reincarnation, both in the game universe and in the greater Nier universe, and what does it mean for the future? The cage is saved and clean. I'm assuming all the virus birds are gone, and there are no more attacks, and all the records are as they should be. They are not corrupted. Mama, Hina, Yuzuki, and 10H remain in the cage. Fio is on Earth with the administrator, but in what sense? Is it a data representation of Earth? Or is it the actual physical Earth? It's hard to say. Fio's last words to Mama were a wish, and it must be to somehow enable Fio and the administrator to be together, but also separate from everyone else. How could Mama do that, and what is the nature of it? Speaking of Mama, I feel like this end credits scene is present Mama collecting the memories in a book and handing it off to past Mama, so that past Mama can have an advantage. But an advantage to do what? This book, as it was shown in See No Alice, is identified as Accord's book, and I think that points to the way forward. With all of the scenes we just saw with the administrators and Kaine, I feel like the game is telling us the answer lies in finding the timeline where humanity does not destroy itself. The answer does not lie in reviving humanity through something like the Gestalt Project. It is never needing humanity to be restored in the first place. That seems to be where the series is going. So with this, I think we can say that Mama created Accord's book. Can we take the next logical step and ask, did Mama create Accord herself? We already know that Mama and Accord are in communication, and that Accord uses the cage as a weapon storage space. It would be pretty natural that Accord's creator is Mama. And I've heard people call Accord the most important character in the Nier universe. If Mama created her, then actually maybe Mama is the most important character. To end, I was looking at this concert artwork and drawing a link between the snow here and the snow in Reincarnation's final chapter, and the timing of the final concerts coinciding with the release of the final Reincarnation chapter. And I was thinking there would be some big reveal about the next Nier game, and nothing. So we continue the waiting game. The next thing on the horizon is Season 2 of the Automata anime. And I guess here I can talk about my plans for my channel in terms of Nier. I will cover that anime season and any other news that comes up, and maybe I should make a video about Season 1 as well. And I will try to make as many reincarnation, story, and character analysis videos during April, too. And then, after Reincarnation shuts down, I will try to make bigger picture videos about, like, philosophy or whatever, through the lens of various Nier entries. So yeah, still a lot of videos left to make. Okay, let me know in the comments what your thoughts are about the end of Reincarnation. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again. Take care.